Y'all know what time it is.
KNICKS Rehab.
KNICKS Rehab, y'all. Our guy, Brian Windhorst, he has some things to report.
So, speaking of the Knicks, Vince, we've had 2 Knicks games in the last week on ESPN ABC. So, doing a lot of prep work with that and watching them. One game was in Boston, and they absolutely destroyed the Celtics. It was an extremely impressive performance, as good as I've seen the Knicks play defensively all year long. Then they lose at home to the Pacers in a game where they were favored by 15 points. Now, in the NBA,
worst of the year? Is that worst of the year?
I don't know. I don't have that data, but it's got to be pretty close. In the NBA, a lopsided line is what, like 6.5, 7.5?
Yeah.
This was 15.5, and the Pacers won. Of course, the Pacers have had a lot of success in MSG over the last 3 years, so maybe they just feel home there.
It's just a matchup,
I guess. But it was an overtime, and then they play the second night of back-to-back in Philly. Now, Philly, no Embiid, they're coming off the West Coast, et cetera, et cetera. But they have one of the best offensive games I've seen from them all year. And after the game is decided, Jose Alvarado gets deployed and knocks down 8 3-pointers off the bench and has 5 steals.
In like 19 minutes or something.
I don't know. It was something like that.
I think it was 19 minutes, 28 points, 5 steals.
The Philly fans all left, and the Knicks fans were all there, and it turned into a Madison Square Garden South again as they were celebrating Alvarado. Alvarado's first game, he scored like 12 points in like 15 minutes. Was unbelievable. Comes home to the Garden, was awful. Goes to Philly, is unbelievable. He's already a Knick. He's fit right in. He's practically Clyde Frazier. He's so much of a Knick right now with that. They say to me, who's going to win? Who's going to win these? And I go, I don't know. And people are like, what do you mean you don't know? This is your job. What do you want me to say? Look at this team. I've watched them in the course of 5 days. I've watched them twice dominate teams that I think they could face in the playoffs, one on one end of the court, one on the other, get obliterated, lose to one of the worst teams in the league. And by the way, the game before the Celtics game, they played in Detroit and lost by 40. What am I supposed to do with this, Vince? When I was talking to an Eastern Conference head coach the other day, and he said to me, he goes, New York's the best team. And I was like, but he's like, nope, New York's the best team. And I was talking to like an executive in the Eastern Conference, high-ranking executive who's been doing it for a long time. And he goes, yeah, New York's the best team.
What are we talking about, AllBall? Huh? Me and Brian Windhorst to tell you? He said he spoke to a high-ranking official. The East is scared of the New York Knickerbockers. Terrified. They already go, yeah, the best team, man. And what's it to talk about, AllBall? Huh? Cleveland made this trade. Boston made a couple trades. Detroit, the Beast. Bad Boys 10.0. And yet and still. Yeah, they smacked us. Coaches, executives. They told Wendy, Beast of the East is the Knicks. And it ain't got nothing to do with us throwing them soda and shit like that in the streets either, fellas. Come on, let's be clear about this. That was a one-off. AllBall, what's your reaction to the great Brian Windhorst reporting this wonderful news on a Friday evening?
Well, we saying we crazy. You didn't hear him glazing Detroit. That's one thing. Like, he's in the mix, and he's talking to executives. He's talking to front office guys, right? He's talking to former current players, and we are the hot topic. And I'm pretty sure, people are afraid to say out loud, the Knicks is the best team in the East. Why? I do not know. But we just came from the Eastern Conference Finals. Now, I do agree with him. We are up and down, right? But when you look at us, and if you know the game of basketball, we are one of the best teams in the NBA fully healthy. Why don't we ever get that like everybody else? Let's be for real. We haven't been fully healthy For how long now? If it ain't OG out, it's Mitch out. If it ain't the both of them out, it's Deuce out. Right? Josh Hart. Like, we made some moves. So just imagine us fully healthy with the whole roster. I've been saying it all season. We are the third best team in the NBA behind OKC. The only reason why I give Denver that much props is because they have the best player in the NBA. But we own them. So if we're talking fully healthy, if you give me all the NBA teams fully healthy, and I got to throw San Antonio in there. I didn't realize how good they are. Like, they're only 4-5 games behind OKC. So I got to give them props. But if we're talking fully healthy, out of all the NBA rosters, we're easily top 5. I say top 3. I may put San Antonio in front of Denver. But San Antonio, a la Detroit, what the fuck have y'all done? Y'all ain't win no playoff series. Y'all ain't been to the playoffs. So, listen, what makes that so ill is he didn't do what everybody else did. Jump on the Detroit Pistons bandwagon. Because that's the easy out now. You know that, right? When it comes to the Knicks. The easy out is, hold up. Detroit blew them out twice. But this is what I say, right? When we beat teams a la the 76ers, what do everybody say, Fabian? No Paul George, no Embiid, right? But when Detroit beat us, no Cat, no OG, we don't get that same energy. See, the mind games, I'm all about the mind games. Y'all talking to I'm a diabolical hater. I thrive on hate. Told you, I'm going to change my middle name to hate. The hate for the Knicks is insane. We do not get the same respect everyone else gets. Like I said, when we beat teams and they're shorthanded, everybody says it's nothing. Even some of the haters in the chat. Oh, don't get excited. They didn't have this player. But when we get our ass kicked, we don't have our guys neither. So we supposed to think Detroit is that much better than us when the last time we played them, we didn't have half our team. So for me, I know what Wimby is talking about. And whoever he's talking to, they're looking at it and saying, yo, man, them guys fully healthy? And then you watching how we beat down Boston, how we beat down Philly. Like he said, teams that we can meet in the playoffs. How are we not the best team in the East? How? How was Detroit the best team in the East? By record, okay. But if we're talking roster, if we're talking basketball, the Detroit Pistons is not better than us. So I love that Wimby said that, because you have guys like Stephen A. Smith that would have refuted that with the Detroit shit. Oh, well, Detroit blew. Yeah, but we wasn't healthy. No excuse. You shouldn't lose by 40. So I want to know, of course, he's not going to say who his source is, right? But I want to know why are so many analysts afraid to give the Knicks their props? That's what I want to know, right? Like what's wrong with saying, yo, the Knicks is one of the best teams in the NBA. They're one of the better teams in the East. Why is it so hard to say that? So for me, I agree with Wimby and I agree with whoever he was talking about. We've been saying it all this time. Like, yo, until Detroit knocks us off, what are we talking about? So I can't wait for the playoffs to get here, because it's going to be good. It's going to be good. I can't wait. But I agree, man. We say it up here all the time on Knicks Rehab, and everybody think we're crazy. Now we have professionals, basketball savants, right? Basketball geniuses saying the same thing Knicks Rehab is saying and what the chat be saying. We one of the best teams in the East and one of the best teams in the NBA. I agree. Like I said, if we're talking fully healthy, let's be realistic. Now we have one of the deepest teams in the NBA. We have one of the teams with the most depth in the NBA. And now we have like legit backups for the backups. We have a legit point guard. We have a legit power forward now. We have a legit center. All those, we have legit everything. So I agree. It's just funny that, you know, look, y'all beat a hurt team. See? But we never hurt. We can play a game with no Josh Hart, no OG, no Mitch, no Deuce. And we get flamed when we get smoked. But when we smoke a team that has injuries, we don't get no credit. Unbelievable. I love it. But it's almost coming to an end. Less than 90 days, we will be in the playoffs, and then we'll see what all y'all have to say. Because I don't want to hear no fucking excuses when we're in the finals and you niggas up here crying.
Great points about the injuries, man. It's not talked about enough. Jalen Brunson has had to deal with a lot of injured teammates, and nobody talks about that. 2 seasons ago, a friend of mine, he was out here going bananas with everybody injured. 2 years later, got a bunch of his teammates injured again. Obviously, we're going through ups and downs, and the Cat Brunson chemistry is a question mark. And yet we still made it to the conference finals last year. And a lot of these fan bases, we'll get into Cleveland in a second. Of course, Detroit fans don't want to hear this. The Celtics, before they got hurt, their main guy got hurt last year in the playoffs. We disposed them. We were beating them down. I think the big deal about this is, how is it that we forget what the playoffs are? How is it that we just talk about the regular season? Like, even getting the MVP. I seen Dirk get an MVP and get smacked when it mattered most. LeBron get MVPs, wet the bed when it mattered most. I argued with my guys yesterday. I was not sober, but that's neither here nor there. The point is, Big Body is the leader of the team. How do we forget this? When it mattered most, I never seen Jalen Brunson go crazy and wet the bed. He might run into some bigger bodies. He might not be able to figure that out in real time. But what happened in the playoffs with Big Body Brunson? We don't have to go back and forth about this today, AllBall. Not again. But that's the leader. That's who we take on. We all saw them look to him when it mattered most. Yo, take us home, man. Even if you're going to hog the ball, just take us home, man. And we haven't seen too many guys in the league today do that. That's all. And also, might I add, David Smith, we did see Mad Lion make a couple of appearances last playoffs. MJ fadeaways, baseline, pump fake, step back threes. Oh, it's crunch time. Back-to-back conference finals appearances. These are the 2 leaders of the team. That's why it's so tough to really, I get it. But remember, this is AllBall, dime dropper, flea, ingraining in me. That sounds good, Fabian. This ain't the playoffs, bro. And then I said, oh, wait a minute. Look at this guy. He's damn near my height. And when the playoffs happen, you hear it every day, AllBall. You know what we say. Golden numbers. They don't want to hear it. They hate that we brag about it. But these are facts. You can't change history, y'all. I didn't make this up. Don't hate us. Hate the game, baby. Brian Windhorst is correct. Even though we all up and down, we are still looking for an identity. Defensively, we just added some dogs. And not only dogs in Alvarado and Sohan. Now with Sohan, you're talking about a shit starter. This guy's going to create some fire on that court. Then you got Josh Hart. He already likes this. He just needed. Josh Hart is the kind of dude that needs to get hyped. He's kind of like, not the gang leader, but he's throwing a punch after the fight starts. But somebody got to throw that first punch. And you know Jose, Brooklyn style. Sohan, I don't know what part of Brazil he's from. But he's a wild boy. And you need those elements. We didn't have those personalities either last year, old boy. Like PJ Tucker couldn't play. Like it was just like PJ Tucker. So now we have the guys that are gonna fight and bring the personality to the game, the competitiveness to make you think outside of basketball. Because people hate that. But it's like, bro, we grew up where you might get clothesline at the basket because they're trying to win a basketball game. They're really trying hard. Like, no. We're not giving this up. Go earn that. I got 5 more of these, by the way. That's how they were playing. And people hate it. Like, well, you guys were just wrestling each other. It's like, bro, what do you mean? You never wanted something so bad in your life? How did you act? I'm questioning how some of you guys went. How did you guys go pick up fellas? You never wanted a young lady before in your life? Did you just sit there and go, whatever happens, happens? No, you went to go get her. Sometimes you play hard to get. You like, nah, hold on a second, man. Nah, hold on. Let me turn this up a little bit.
But
I question people's demeanor about life when they talk like that. What you mean that was jail ball? What are you talking about? I'm competitive at Monopoly. I will fucking cheat in Monopoly. Yes, don't play me. The money is under my leg. It's happening, all ball. I am the bank.
So I don't JJ47K, right? Never excuse me, never seen him before. Big shout out to you. And I'm just looking at some of the chat, right? And I laugh when people say we talk about old shit. Last season is old now. That's what we call old, right? And then, you see people in the chat talk about winning the playoffs. We were in the conference finals. So I don't know if they talk about Detroit. I don't know, right? But this is the same energy Pistons fans and some of the networks and some of the analysts had for Detroit as well. And what happened? So like I said, it's very hard to like the Knicks if you're not a Knicks fan. I get it. But when you talk basketball, we were just in the Eastern Conference Finals when nobody had us there. Nobody had us beating Boston. We was up 3-1 when Tatum got hurt. Let's cut the jokes, right? So for me, I don't get it, right? But we'll put you Detroit Pistons fans out your misery real soon. And it's comical when people say we're going to lose in the first round. To who? To who? So Boston, Philly, Orlando, Charlotte, like really? Like you hate a team that much? Because I bask in hate. I know what hate is. You hate the Knicks so much that if we were to play the Charlotte Hornets in the first round, people will say they will beat us.
They're a dangerous young team.
That's the hate for the Knicks. It's comical, but I love it. But listen, we can laugh and say what we want about Wendy. He spoke the truth. And you see, when he said whoever that is that said that to him, he was flabbergasted. He had no rebuttal. Because like I said, the easy answer is you just throw Detroit out there because they beat us down twice. But when you break down the game, like I said, when you look at the roster, when you look at everything, we are the better team. It's not even close. If you want to think about it, what's Cade and Brunson, you can have whatever's your cup of tea, right? Whatever's your cup of tea. If you want to say Cade is better, cool. I'm not arguing with you. But that right there evens out. After that, you tell me we probably run that whole thing on y'all after that. Cat, OG, Bridges, Deuce. Like, it's hard. Like, it's not even close. It's not even close. Now, granted, Detroit got some guys with a chip on their shoulder. They're playing great basketball this season. You can't take that away from them. But if we're talking basketball, it's not even close. And you will see in the playoffs, like you saw last season, not in the conference finals, not in the semi-conference finals. in the first round, you bum-ass niggas. 6 games. 6 games. That ain't old. That's recent. So until we get back to the playoffs, that's what you have to harp on. So, like I said, it's comical, but y'all will have y'all day. Doomsday will be here soon. We ain't got to wait till Doomsday with Dr. Doom in December. No, Doomsday will be here real soon for you Detroit Pistons fans. Because you niggas ain't even a real threat. You niggas ain't even the real threat. If you want me to be honest, a lot of Pistons fans, y'all feelings about to get hurt. Y'all not even a real threat. We ain't even thinking about y'all. Yeah, that's where we going. Y'all not even a real threat. Think about that. So now when all of y'all asleep, when all of y'all's thinking about us, we ain't even thinking about y'all. We think about somebody else. Yeah. How about that?
AllBall TV.
They scared, but I'm not.
They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.